we're just having a conversation, and all of a sudden it just stops. One half of it just goes away.
Right, and then the theme plays, and we're out.
Quick, vamp.
I mean, the producer's giving that stretch symbol, behind the mic. Come on, stretch it out, stretch it out.
Stretch it out. Elongate. What do you want me to do? How do you want me to elongate this? No, make it longer.
Right.
Oh.
Yes, that's right.
Boy, it was a really weird feeling getting into the truck stop this morning. And I say this morning because I mean it. Because I'm over here in Arizona and they're on Pacific time right now.
Ooh, did you stop and get some of their special tea? I hear it's awesome.
You can get that anywhere.
Really?
You can get that anywhere. Yeah, it's only $1. Crazy.
Wow. Oh, this is like the day when I discovered I could use right guard under my left arm. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, you spent years looking for left guard. It was crazy.
Yeah, I couldn't figure that out. Is that like a hot dog?
We could only stand on one side of you for a long while there, because
Oh, it's bad. Well, at least there was the side with my good eye.
Well, right, yeah, and the good hand. No, I got at the truck stop in the morning here, and I got here at 9 o'clock this morning.
All right, so it should have been half empty.
No, everybody was just starting their day. I'm looking for a place to park to finish, and everybody and all the other, half the other trucks guys are just getting back in from taking their shower for the morning, or getting their breakfast, or brushing their teeth, getting their coffee. And here I am parking to go to bed.
Three dudes are taking a shower in the fuel island. Well, right. You got the guys in the sink washing their feet. You got the guys on the fuel island taking a shower in the windshield washer stuff. Typical morning at a truck stop. You got one guy spraying himself with diesel, trying to get rid of the bed bugs. Right. Because it ain't the same as when I was doing it. That's all I can say.
I have taken a diesel bath. I have taken a diesel bath once before. It was not intentional, though. It was an involuntary diesel bath.
Yeah,
you should probably start this.
My truck one will never. Okay, here we go. Welcome again to another episode of Drake and. What's that? You gonna let me start this or what?
I'm trying. I'm loopy.
Well,
I'm tired.
Welcome again to another episode. Welcome again to another episode of Drake and the Maestro. Almost relevant and almost loopy.
Oh no, definitely loopy. There's no almost about it. This is the Maestro, punch drunk, been up for 13 hours, needs to go to bed, but doesn't want to drive through the mountains all night, so he's trying to stay up a little later.
Well, yeah, you don't want to crash through the mountains.
Well, you fun for some.
Although, if the truck knows the way, then you're probably fine, right?
At this point, this truck's been to LA enough times that it probably does know the way.
Yeah.
Cruise control,
my
good man.
It was just like when I was going through
the toll road in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, the trip from Youngstown, Ohio to, destinations in New Jersey, Newark, whatever, was so I've done that so many times that I just slept through Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I-80 in Pennsylvania. There's no sharp curves or tunnels or anything. No.
Autopilot. Yeah,
actually, I don't think there are any tunnels on. I don't think there are any tunnels on I-80 in Pennsylvania. There's some sharp curves, but there's no tunnels. The tunnels are all on 76. I think. I might be wrong. I'm almost definitely wrong there, but I'm going to be confidently wrong.
Have you slept through that so much that you don't remember now? Is that,
I've done it. I've done so many miles across this country that I can't, they all blend together. You go through one tree-laden, hilly area, they all start to look kind of the same,
Are you to the point now where you're playing games with yourself? Because it's like, I've seen this before, but where?
Right, yeah. I drove through upstate New York the other day. I had to take a secondary route because I missed the ramp. I thought the ramp for 481 was closed to go to Oswego, New York. So I ended up on 81 and getting off and going through Mexico, New York. I made a really funny joke that I'm not going to make here.
Insert tortilla drop in.
Well, you know what? I'm just tired enough. Maybe I will make this joke. I was on the phone with a friend of mine, and I asked him. I said, this town is Mexico, right? Do you think the high school sports team's name is the Wetbacks? I was going through that area, and it kind of reminded me of down where you live. It's kind of hilly, kind of curvy. The roads are kind of narrow, but there's lots of cornfields.
Yeah,
like,
and you start getting that. You get that feeling like, okay, do I have any missing time here? Have I been transported to an area?
Where am I?
Right. Yeah. Besides state of confusion, what state? Yeah. Right.
Yeah, state of denial. I'm lucky for me. I've got a GP. I've got the Magic Idiot box on the windshield, so I was able to look at that and go, no, I'm in the right state. Okay.
Yeah. Which
for
reminds
all the world,
me,
it looked like Indiana.
Which reminds me of the time I ran an involuntary marathon. Okay. Talk about not knowing where you are.
Did you run the marathon, or did you just like mosey the marathon?
No, I ran the equivalent of, I call it the involuntary marathon. I haven't always been in a wheelchair. And at one point in my life when I was young, I could actually run.
You were young once?
I know it's hard to believe, but
when I was a young man, beady 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 bum.
Correct.
Sorry, the Fiddler on the Roof got to me.
Okay. I worked for a tree cutting crew. I worked with a tree cutting crew in Michigan, and they were at a campground there, like a summer camp kind of thing, where you send your kids when you're tired. Thank goodness it's summertime; the kids can be gone. And I'm sending them to this, camp where they can learn to tie knots and tell what stories by the camp, whatever,
and possibly drown in the lake.
Yes, right. And I was on a crew cutting trees there and thinning out the overgrowth and kind of, trying to prevent forest fires and that kind of thing. And
okay, Smokey Bear.
One of the things that a couple of guys did is they get out and they would go out and run. That was during the big jogging phase of the 80s, if you remember, late 70s, early 80s.
Thanks, Forrest Gump.
Everybody was running. That's right. And I've always been a larger person, and I was certainly into weightlifting and whatnot back then, and donuts. Yeah, no, little chocolate donuts. Make them part of your training table.
Your exercise routine.
That's right. So they kept needing, come on, go run with us. We're going to run around the lake because the whole place was on a big lake. And I'm like, okay, fine. I'm getting ready for the Navy anyway. So what the heck, there's going to be a lot of running involved there. So
you tell the village people I said hello.
The only problem I've got, as you know, is that I've got short legs, right?
Yes.
Long body,
little legs.
I do. I'm the corgi of people.
Yeah, you're like on a good day. You're a 30-inch inseam. On a normal day, you're like a 28.
Yeah, no, I mean.
Well, that's right, because you bought 30-inch inseams and they were too long, and
I ended up with them. Man. Yeah,
right. I ended up with them, and they're like, I'm a 31. Realistically, because like 32, if I'm not wearing boots, is just a little too long. They'll drag in really low tennis shoes. And a 30 is almost too short because it looks like it's just verging on. It looks like I'm trying to prepare for a flood.
Right. And for me, they're dragging. I gotta have them much shorter than that. But
I'm not true stick insect, but well, it's because you're all back.
Yeah.
It's all torso.
Yeah, baby's got. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
so
you're the guy in that Chili's ad with the baby back ribs. You've just got lots of ribs. Baby back.
Yeah. Well, so unfortunately for me, that lends itself to packing on the extra weight really nice, because the long torso. So I'm wearing
with the bear claws to get wedged in this particular
region. Yeah. So I'm wearing XLT shirts, but I'm wearing short guy pants.
Right.
So.
Yeah. So every two steps. You take, I take one, you make just the noise that Plankton makes when he walks. So that noise from SpongeBob.
Or there was a
Mr.
cartoon where Dom DeLuise is narrating a voice of a dog with short legs, and he's running with the other dogs, like short legs. Yeah. It's like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I take my short legs, and I put them into those 80s shorts that nobody should wear. Everybody was wearing back then.
Basketball shorts.
Correct.
Modern basketball shorts, not old school basketball shorts, which were way too short. Even then, they were too short.
They look like Bermudas, okay? Or what do they call them now? Jersey shorts, I guess.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's the term now, jersey shorts instead of Bermudas.
I think at this point now they're just called underwear, but that's not the point.
Well, or overwear, or whatever.
Yeah,
it's some kind of wear.
It barely qualifies as overwear.
Yeah. The clothing trends are sometimes a little disturbing, especially at Wally World.
All I'm saying is those shorts shouldn't be made in any size over large.
Correct, you are correct, sir. But
if the amount of
Ponch and Don
fabric
made them work.
if the amount of fabric outwards is larger than the amount of fabric downwards, those shorts aren't for you. That's all I'm saying.
Uh-oh. That means my shorts need to be down around my ankles. That's all.
You're not a perfect circle.
I'm getting there.
You're too lumpy.
I'm working on it, man.
You're more like a bowling pin, real low, real heavy down low, and then you got the short legs and a long neck and upper body.
Yeah, it helps me in my turns. It keeps me stable,
Right.
lower center of gravity and all. Right, yeah.
Yeah, but you just got to watch out for bowling balls when they're rolling around.
Yeah, it'd be
They'll
like a
get
whole
ya.
Indiana Jones kind of thing going on there.
Yeah. So anyway, you involuntarily ran a marathon.
Well, that's because I'm an idiot, right? So the other people I'm with, they take off, right? They jog and like, come on, short legs, come on, give the, I'm picking them up and putting them down. They didn't.
And you've got short legs. Does that mean you actually ran 2 marathons?
A marathon and a third. It's a special extra 4K,
Well, yeah, because you got to take extra steps to keep their pace. So, like, if you run, like, are you running more? If you have short legs, are you running more distance over the same distance because you actually have to take more steps? So, it's like, is it like equivalent to running further? Not that you're actually covering more distance, but like because of how you have to, like, if you've got short legs, not just you, but anybody that with short legs. As someone who has long legs, I don't know. Is it like, where it feels like you've run further because you have to work harder?
But short legs have a better leverage. So does it take more effort to move the long legs? I don't know. You studied kinesiology in college. My
study of kinesiology was falling down on a bridge over on a bike path.
And how'd that go for you?
Dislocating my shoulder with my backpack. Painfully.
Yeah, good. So I got my I got my white crew socks pulled up, mid calf, and I'm ready to go. Got the tenny runners on, and immediately they take off. We're running at the same pace, but the long legs, that was a problem I had. Anytime I had to run in a group, anytime, and the Navy, they were, I was, get up here,
I'm working on.
Short legs, but
you're the person.
I could put an 80-pound pack on
this truck stop. Go ahead.
Well, I say you could throw an 80-pound pack on me.
A mule?
I'd still run at the same pace. It wouldn't slow me down.
You're
at all.
the person that the stairs at this truck stop are made for.
Ooh,
they're
like
real shallow.
Yeah,
they're like half steps. Going down wasn't so bad, but coming up, I kept bringing my foot up too high.
And the treads are just long. They're a little bit too long, so you can't take 2 steps at once either.
They're not.
You
got to
go like.
Well, they're close. No. I can at least get my whole foot on these steps.
Yeah.
What's worse is when they're short and narrow. So the rise and run are really small. So it's like like taking penguin steps upstairs. Half my foot's hanging off the step. And I've got to take half steps to get to each stair because, apparently people with tiny little legs.
Yeah. Well, if you recall, most schools built, back in the beginning of the baby boom, post World War II, all have stairs like that. Like your high school had stairs like that. Yeah. Yeah. I could take 2 stairs at a time almost comfortably. Almost. They were just far enough apart that 2 stairs was almost too much, but 1 stair wasn't quite enough. Right, and so you're like ding, 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 going up the stairs.
Yeah.
That's for the chillins with the short legs.
I wouldn't know about that.
Yeah, I know.
And why? Okay, so I had to look into this. We're gonna I'm gonna completely derail this podcast. You got me going now. I got a gripe with the where toilet paper holders in bathroom stalls are placed. And I don't know if we've covered this before, but we're covering it now. Damn it. Because, listen, I had to look it up. There's got to be a reason they're always so low, right? Because they're
right at knee height,
universally, they're right at knee height. Universally, because just about everybody's got the same length shins. Right,
well,
within reason. Well, within reason, right? Within reason, like your knee is because of how tall those things are. Your knee's going to end up bashing against it unless you're 5 and you've fallen into the toilet. So I looked it up. According to the ADA, the American Disabilities Act, the minimum height is 19 inches to the center of the toilet paper dispenser.
So from
the
the floor?
minimum height, from the floor to the center of the dispenser, the minimum height is 19 inches.
Well,
right? But that's the minimum. That's the minimum.
Right.
They have to be at least, because I sat there and thinking about it, I'm like, okay, so why are they always so low? If that's the it's like, do they mean maximum? No, they said minimum. So the minimum is 19 inches. So that means that they can be, as long as they're above 19 inches, I'm sure there's an upper limit. Like, you can't have it like 4 feet off the ground, right? Obviously, because like then children wouldn't be able to reach it.
Yeah, but they don't use it anyway, so
Well, that's between them and their parents. I couldn't figure it out, and I still haven't quite put my thumb on it. Other than every contractor I've ever met always builds everything to the minimum standard.
You are correct, sir.
Everything is built. That's why we have building codes, because there became a point where pride and craftsmanship disappeared. I want to say it was like the mid-70s where pride and craftsmanship started disappearing, and it was just, get it done as cheap as possible. And we had to start implementing stricter and stricter building codes, because otherwise people would make absolute death traps for housing. They'd build them like 3 inches apart out of the weakest wood that, out of balsa wood, and then slather it in gasoline just for good measure for, I don't know, termite prevention.
Creosote. It's creosote.
Yeah, there you go. Creosote. Yeah, for termite and bug prevention. And then they use, what's the most flammable insulation you can think of? Newspaper, I guess.
I've seen newspaper.
I have seen newspaper in very old houses, like from the 20s, because that's a different kind of thing, because they're using what they have that's available.
Well, that's back when newspaper contained asbestos, the good old days.
The good old days, back when, the insulation in your walls would give you cancer. Actually, that's up until pretty recently. But anyway.
It's the cigarettes that you're smoking didn't.
Right. They would just fill it with like newspaper and old shopping bags and just whatever was laying around. And then they put like, I don't know, wood paint. They wouldn't even drywall it. It would just be solid wood paneling over it.
Well, that would be more expensive. It was like that particle board stuff.
Yeah, no, I said wood. I was being generous. Yeah, you're right. It would be like MDF.
Well, no, MDF would be too nice. It's just like pressed board, sawdust.
Man. Yeah, it's just pressed sawdust with glue, and then that would be your wall.
Until I redid,
and then all the wiring is just bare copper.
Well, no, it's what do they call it?
Well, the new stuff's like
stuff.
it's like the new stuff is like stainless steel, aluminum stuff. I don't know.
No, they just take the stuff.
There'd be no insulation on the wires. It'd just be bare metal wires running through the wall, hoping they don't get hot enough to set the insulation on fire.
The old knob and tube stuff, and that was insulated with woven cloth.
Yeah, it was cloth. Yeah, it was just
that's
wool.
A good idea.
It was just wool. It was basically they knitted socks for the wires.
And then they just had these porcelain insulators that would this will keep the wires apart, and that's what it was all.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah, that will touch
until the cloth wears through, and then the porcelain acts as a really good conductor between the positive and the negative.
The porcelain won't do that, but the critters that are laying across the bare wires might conduct.
They might also, they're real good conductors as well. So that's why we have building standards, is because that stuff was a real problem, and house fires, and we don't want your house catching fire and burning down your neighbor's house or whatever. And then at some point, it was like the idea was, okay, we're going to build better than the building. These are the minimums. We're going to build better than that. And then at some point, it became we're just going to build the code. And that's good enough.
Because the code is already arduous,
Well, according to them, it is. There's all those building codes that you have to follow when you're building a house. There's a reason those exist, other than just arbitrary decisions. Like there's a reason there was a major fatality or loss of life or a major loss of property or structural damage. Or, somebody bought a house and like a month later, a strong wind knocked it over.
Right. And shouldn't have built it with sticks,
Well, right. You shouldn't have built it out of hay. Like the three little, because I was getting there too with the three little pigs.
Right. With the straw and
big
the things.
wolf came by.
Right. So I think I understand now why I see you heading to the facilities with the tape measure. That explains a lot.
Yeah. I gotta start measuring.
Yeah.
This is not 19 inches. This is 17 inches. It's too low. Because like
I
the
think
one
you
I'm
need to-
sitting next to earlier
Now-
was like, if it had just been 6 inches higher, just 6 inches
Right.
higher would have been fine. Like the width of my hand would have been enough.
And you know it's the contractor.
Ostensibly,
You know it's the contractor messing with you when you go into the head and the urinals are too high and the toilet paper dispensers are too low.
no, the one that's the
Come
contractor's messing with you. The one that's messing, the one the contractor's messing with you, and was when there's one above the other. I don't know if you've ever seen that, but I've been in several restrooms where there's one toilet paper dispenser down real low, and there's one up kind of mid-high right above it, and it's kind of like what, you just couldn't pick one? This is too, because like I've never met. If it's above knee height when you're sitting down, that is not too high for the average person that's in a wheelchair or a child. If your child is so small that they have to reach up from 19 inches off the ground or above, like, let's say 22 inches off the ground, right? They probably aren't going to be reaching for a toilet paper dispenser.
I can
They're
tell
probably
this
not
is
even walking yet.
This is a real issue for you. I'm sorry that you have to suffer through
It bothers me. Well, you don't have to deal with public bathrooms in the same way that I do.
Not in the same frequency, no.
No, you only have to deal with them once in a while. That's pretty much the only bathroom I get to use.
I get the experience of going in there with the wheelchair, it's turning around and all that, and bashing my knee into the thing. It's like, come on!
Oh yeah, I know.
How is this acceptable? Anyway,
the real question. The real question is, if it's 4 people with disabilities that are in wheelchairs and the guy in the wheelchair is bashing his knee into it, who is it really helping?
Well, then the other question is, it says 19 inches minimum, right? Is that from the center of the dispenser, from the bottom, or the top?
The center of the dispenser.
Ah, the center.
To the floor. So. But that's the minimum. That's as low as it can possibly be mounted, right?
But what if it's too low? What if it's one of them big, huge roll things? That means that the bottom of the thing is going to be almost touching the floor, because I'm talking about.
I've seen them mounted. Seen them mounted where the bottom of the dispenser is the bottom of the stall.
Yeah.
I was like, that's too low. It's too. If I have to lean over and reach down to get to the bottom of the dispenser to pull the toilet paper out, it's too low. Some of us are negotiating a second person here. Okay, I'm better now.
Are you okay now?
I had to get that rant out. I really needed to get that out of my system.
All right. So for the listeners that are left,
go have a nice lie down now.
Yeah. For the listeners that are left, I guess we're to the point where I've stopped. I've pulled up my crew socks that were mid calf, and now they're down on my ankles again. And I'm commencing with the involuntary marathon. So because of the short legs and different kind of endurance, I'm left behind by the party I'm with, right? They're far ahead, barely in sight even, right? And I've never been around the roads and the trails on the lake at all, ever. I've been on parts of it.
It's just rude on their part. Like, they tell you to come running and they just take off.
Yeah. Well, it's the 70s. That's what we did.
Yeah, I suppose.
Or 80s, and I'm at a different, I end up realizing I'm at a different pace as well, because they're running, they'll make, they'll practically do a sprint. They'll go several hundred yards and then stop and breathe heavy and put their arms over their heads and everything, and try to catch their breath and wheezing and whatever. And I'm just picking them up, putting them down, picking them up, putting them down. Yeah. Eating my chocolate donuts, and when my shall we say childhood experience has been just about walking everywhere. You know what? We're gonna have to redo the podcast. How do I sound over there?
Okay.
Okay. I'm on the wrong microphone.
Nice going.
Yeah.
I'm not redoing my rant. You're going with this microphone. There's too much material here for you to not do it with this microphone.
All right, we're doing it with this microphone, and whatever it is whatever it is. So I'm picking them up, putting them down, but the party I'm with is slowly disappearing from sight, right? And I realize about a third of the way around the lake, because I've made, it's about because I made it out. I made it onto the main access road. I made one turn left, and now I'm halfway down that road before I make another turn left to go around the lake. And I lose sight of them when they make the next left turn on the next road to go continue their journey around the lake. Correct. And so when I get there, I make my turn left, and I don't see him. So I'm like, great. I don't know how long I have to stay here before I can go left again. So I figure, you know what? I'll just take the next left, right? Because the next road, they're not going to build a road to nowhere. Well, they might, and then I'll figure out it's a road to nowhere. I'll have to turn around and keep going. But at least I'll know.
Yeah. So eventually have a map of the area.
So that's what I decide to do. And I just keep running and running and running and running and running and running. And finally there's a road to the left. So I take that left and I'm running on that road. And this is where it comes to what you were talking about, where you're starting to see scenery and looks familiar.
Yeah.
But not familiar enough to say
familiar.
Not super familiar, just kind of familiar. And so I'm like, okay, oh yeah, I recognize that tree. Or did I not recognize that tree? I don't know. Have I been on this road before? What state am I in? It's all that kind of stuff, right? So one would think that the smart play would be, because the road is taking a few meandering turns, right? It's actually turning right and then left. It's kind of meandering out and
wandering, if you will.
Yeah, if you will. It's kind of, if you would think about it, maybe, following the contour of the lake a little bit. Yeah, maybe. Anyway,
kind of, sort of.
In my addled state from the lots of running, I got to another intersection. Now, let me ask you a question. It's all looking kind of familiar, but looking disfamiliar. One direction looks more familiar than the other direction, because I'm faced with a right or left-hand turn. Which direction are you turning?
The one that looks more familiar.
That's what I did. But you know what? A smart person would say, I've made 3 lefts and 4 lefts is a circle.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, that's what I would say. Yeah, if you got a choice.
But
the left direction is the one that looks more familiar, that's the direction I'm going. But
the
if
right
the right
direction looks more
familiar, I'm going to turn left anyway, because that doesn't make any sense, because left is a circle. Left will bring me back to where I was.
But I would look right and I'm like, oh yeah, I've been this way before.
I mean, you probably had at some point, just maybe not that day.
Sometime. So I thought, I've been this way before. I know where this goes. So I'm running and I'm running and I'm running. It's like, I don't remember.
The Morgan Freeman voiceover comes in. Turns out that was wrong.
Right, correct.
He just ran and ran and ran.
All the way to see Jenny.
I just kept running. Okay, this is getting offensive somehow.
So the sun's coming up, because we're running early. The sun's not just coming up. It's bright and overhead. I'm like, oh my goodness, it's getting late.
It's getting late.
And
I'm
still picking them up. I'm still picking them up and putting them down, but I'm thinking, I've been going an awful long time down this, now it doesn't look familiar at all, road. And then I think, maybe you should turn around and go back to that other intersection and go the other way. Yeah, but I've come so far, the conversation you have in your head. I've come so far this direction. Why would I stop now? Well, because it's the wrong direction.
Fallacy.
But we don't know. Right. It's the reason men don't stop for directions either.
No, we're just going to keep going this direction. Eventually we'll get somewhere.
So I end up in this little town of, 3 shacks and 1 horse and stuff like that. And a post office.
People got right out of a Stephen King novel.
It was. I think actually Stephen King was filming at the time. And I'm going through this town. I'm like, you're now. I'm like, I'm in the run. Where am I? It's like, okay, I only got one choice here, and that is to backtrack. Because if I keep going, who knows where I'm going to end? I end up in another state. Who knows? So I turn around and go back the way it came. And I finally made it. I made it back. And it turns out, yes, I should have turned left, because the reason it looked familiar is the road if I turned left, I'd been down that way. And just never paid attention to that intersection. That's all. So I got all way back. I missed morning calisthenics, but it's okay, because I had my own, and I missed breakfast, which was the true crime. Couldn't get my crullers, man. Good thing I had little chocolate donuts.
Yeah, good. Yeah, gotta have those. Yeah.
And I got back, and they said, "Well, where have you been?" I said, I've been running around the lake, man. You guys left me. Like, yeah, well, we couldn't see you, so we figured you were doing okay. Like, really? Did you see me pass you?
How does that make any sense?
Right. Well, it just makes sense, like 3 lefts and a right make a circle or something. Whoopsie.
We didn't see you. We just assumed you were fine. Says every person who's a friend of a victim of a serial killer. Well, we didn't see him for a while. We just assumed he was fine.
Well, it's like the dog when she leaves me in the woods and goes back home. She's like, "Yeah, you're fine." I'm like, I've fallen down the well.
See, that's different. Fine. That's the dog going, "Yeah, I'll be fine." See, your friends went, oh, we can't see him. He'll be fine. The dog actively looks at you and goes, "Yeah, he'll be fine," and walks away. It's a different choice. It's a different choice. One is out of sight, out of mind. The other one is a conscious decision to go, "Yeah, don't worry about it."
Well, shelter dog. What can I say?
Prison changes a dog.
Yeah. 6 months, 9 months in the joint will change a dog for sure. So I was kind of the butt of jokes. In fact, we had to do a skit for the kids in the camping. And my role in the skit was they put me back in my running shorts and doused me with water and had me a towel, and I just jogged past the stage as the play, right in the middle of the play, interrupted everything. They just had me jog past and look.
Oh, you were the Forrest Gump.
I was. It was me.
Was that before or after? I don't know when Forrest Gump came out.
It was long before. I was the original.
I was going to say, I think Forrest Gump came out after. I think because Forrest Gump came out in the 90s.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's thanks, Rain Man.
Yeah.
I hope so. There were kids around.
Yeah, so that was the whole bit in the skit, and it was quite a hit. Everybody laughed hysterically as I come jogging. I just interrupt the play, jog across, soaked in it's supposed to be sweat, but it's water. And stop. I was supposed to stop. Hit my mark in the middle of the stage. Stop. Look out at all the kids out there, and I was like, anybody know the way to? And I forget wherever we're supposed to go, and then just
whatever camp.
Shrug, camp Winnie Wannabe, and shrug my shoulders and go jogging off, because it became the joke for everybody for the whole summer. And my supervisor said, "What? You said you went to a little town? What little town did you go to?" I told him, he's like, "Holy crap, that's like 12 miles away."
Oh, I just kept going until I didn't recognize it anymore.
That's right. That would explain my absence.
Gump, you're a genius.
And on that disappointment...
Oh, yeah, no, you would definitely have gotten the nickname Forrest before long if Forrest Gump had already been out.
Absolutely.
Okay, Forrest. Yeah, you just keep running there, buddy. Watch out for Jen A.
Run, Florist! Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you'd have been even more mercilessly mocked.
Yep. So that's the story of the involuntary marathon. You
know what I did? So... when I got stuck in the mud a couple of years ago now, that was a couple of years ago now.
I don't know. It's on the podcast.
Yeah, we've been doing the podcast for over 2 years now.
Well, we're definitely in season 2.
Yeah. Okay, let's say a year. I don't remember exactly how it's a year ago or so.
Hey, the time blends, so the spaces blend. All of it. Yeah, it does. Just goes.
I got out and I started walking to my customer because I was thinking maybe they got like a big front end loader or something they can drive down here.
Yeah.
And I got about a half mile from my truck and it was dark. I had a flashlight, I had a good powerful flashlight, and it was dark. And it's out of as doing the logging stuff, because this is logging territory where I was in Georgia.
Yeah.
It's dark.
Yes.
It's not just it's there's glow on the horizon from the cities nearby. No, it's dark.
Mm-hmm.
It's not quite ocean dark, but it's close.
You should have felt at home because you're in Sasquatch territory.
Oh, no, it was fine. It was fine. It was just really, really humid. And see, this is the difference between you and me, because I'm walking. I'm like, I got to be getting close. And I stop and I pull out my phone and I look, and I've only walked like a quarter of a mile. Mm-hmm. I've been walking for 20 minutes because the hill is so steep and the mud is so slick. I've been walking slow. And I went and I turned around and I could just see the clearance lights for the top of my cab, like behind me. And I just stop and I go, yeah, I'm not walking that mile to the customer. I'll call them. Screw this.
Right.
And that was when I learned that, oh, yeah, no, not even cars go down that road when it rains. I'm like, oh, great. Cool. Thanks.
Yay.
Excellent. Yay. And then even the tow truck guy was like, yeah, we don't go out there at night. I'm like, you know what? I don't blame you. It's dark out here. It's scary.
So did you see any of your people out there and your fellow Sasquatch?
No, there were no large incriminating footprints around my truck in the morning.
Well, that's disappointing.
There was a poor county worker that was trying to get on with his job, and my truck was currently blocking the entire road. I guess he got sent to mow a specific area and just came upon my semi truck stuck across the entire lane and a half that is the road, just sitting there.
Hey, Joey, we caught another one.
Yeah, pretty much. He's like, well, you got someone coming to get you? I'm like, yeah, there's a tow company coming in like an hour. He's like, okay, you sure? I'm like, yeah. And then it became the spectacle for the entire county to come out and look. It's like his boss showed up. The tree guys came down and took a look. It's like, is there anybody else? I should start. If anybody else shows up, I'll start charging admission.
You should have been TikToking, apparently.
Yeah, I needed to put up a toll booth and like selling tickets. Like, all right, go down and see the idiot. Well, who was driving it? It was me. I'm the idiot. Now go down and look.
Look at what I have wrought.
That's right. Look at, lay thine eyes upon my fruitful labors and see that I was a moron.
And on that disappointment, it really is time to end.
Yeah,
I want to apologize for my terrible microphone. And I
apologize for nothing.
We've got the vid coming on, the COVID, gingivitis is set in. And so trying to get the podcast out before
well, there goes all our dentist
affects my voice.
There goes all the dentist listeners.
If you need to contact us, you can reach out to DrakeAndMaestro at Outlook.com. That's DrakeAndMaestro at Outlook.com. Right. I want to be a dentist.
A dentist. What was that little elf's name? Charlie?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
put it in the comments.
Put it in the comments.
And tune in next week when the Maestro says, thanks for listening. Sorry for the bad microphone. And adios.
And the rant. Adios.
Adios, muchachos, caballeros, and when you get out of here.
Well, I think they tuned in for the rant.
You got a point.
I mean, the whole podcast is like one rant or another.
I came up with a funny punk band name this morning. I don't know if it can be on the podcast, but it was really funny. It would have definitely come out during the 80s, back when punk bands were new and they had really edgy names. It was like, Hitler's Wet Dream would be a really good name for a punk band.
I think it
was.
Like
a 1980s. If it
something
wasn't,
like
it should have been.
Yeah, I think they opened for Billy Idol.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Elvis Hitler is another one that I've seen. That's an actual band, is Elvis Hitler. Or Hitler Elvis. Adolf Elvis? I don't know. You boxing with the recording again.
I'm trying here.
We'll try harder.